Hey, have you checked your spare change lately? That little coin sitting in your pocket or under your car's seat might just be worth a fortune. I'm talking about a regular-looking 25-cent coin that could actually sell for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. That's right, the 2005 Kansas State quarter could be your lucky find. It may look like any other quarter at first, but if you know what to look for, you could turn just one of these coins into a serious payday. This quarter was made in 2005 as part of the 50 State Quarters program. That's when the U.S. Mint released special quarters for every state, and Kansas was one of them. The Kansas quarter features a buffalo, or more correctly, an American bison, and a sunflower, which is the state flower of Kansas. It looks peaceful and simple. But something unusual happened at the Denver Mint that year. Some coins didn't come out the way they were supposed to. And collectors today are hunting for these coins because some of them have mistakes, called mint errors, and these mistakes make them rare and super valuable. One of the most famous and funny errors on this quarter is called the "In God We Rust" error. That's right, not "In God We Trust," but "In God We Rust." The T in trust is either missing or faded out, and it looks like the coin is saying something completely different. This happened because the die used to stamp the coins got filled with grease, and the grease made the T disappear. It might sound small, but collectors go crazy for this. Even though it's just one letter, it makes the coin rare, and rare means money. Some of these, "In God We Rust" quarters have sold for $100, $300, even over $1,000, just because of that one missing letter. And if the coin is in perfect shape, like brand new without scratches, it could be worth even more. But that's not the only mistake to look for. Some Kansas quarters were printed with what's called a double die. That means the coin got struck twice by the machine, and you can sometimes see doubling on the letters or the sunflower petals. When this happens, it looks like there's a shadow or blur behind the letters or lines. If you find a Kansas quarter with clear doubling on the word Kansas or E pluribus unum, or even on the buffalo's face, you're looking at a valuable error coin. These types of coins can sell for a few $100s to over $2,000 depending on how strong the doubling is and what condition the coin is in. Another error that can make these quarters valuable is something called an off-center strike. That's when the coin wasn't lined up properly in the machine and the design ends up being printed off to the side. Some off-center strikes are small, like only 5 or 10% off, but some are really noticeable. If you have a quarter where part of the design is missing or off-center but the date is still visible, you could have a coin worth several hundred to even a couple $1,000s. The more off-center it is, the more collectors want it. And it doesn't stop there. Some Kansas quarters were struck on clipped planchets. That means the blank piece of metal that becomes the coin was cut wrong, and a small chunk is missing from the edge. It looks like someone took a bite out of it. These clipped planchet errors can make the coin worth hundreds of dollars too, especially if the clip is big and the rest of the coin looks good. Now, even if your Kansas quarter doesn't have any of these mistakes, it could still be worth more than face value. That's because some of these coins are in what collectors call mint state condition. That means the coin has never been used in circulation, no scratches, no wear, still shiny. Coins like that are rare because most quarters get used and handled right away. If your Kansas quarter is in perfect shape and has been graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth a lot. Some perfect or near-perfect 2005 Kansas quarters graded MS-68 or MS-69 have sold for $1,500, $3,000, even over $6,000. That's a huge jump from 25 cents. So how do you check if you have one of these valuable quarters? It's pretty simple. First, look at the year, it must say 2005. Then, look at the small letter on the front side near Washington's ponytail, that's the mint mark. You want the letter D for Denver. Then flip the coin over and look at the word trust. Is the T missing? That could be a jackpot. Next, check for any weird doubling on the letters or images. You can use a magnifying glass or a coin loop for a better look. Also, look at the edge of the coin. Does it have a clip? Or does the design look off-center? These are all things that could mean you've got a rare one. And if you think your coin looks special or valuable, don't just guess, get it graded. Professional grading companies can tell you exactly what condition it's in and how much it might be worth. They even seal it in a plastic case to keep it safe and prove it's real. A graded coin is more trusted by buyers and can sell for much more money than an ungraded one. People all over the country have found rare Kansas quarters in their change, in old jars, in rolls of coins from the bank, and even in forgotten drawers. You don't have to be a coin expert to find one. You just have to pay attention. A little patience and curiosity can lead you to a coin that changes your day, or maybe even your life. So the next time you get a quarter back from the store, don't just toss it aside. Take a second and look. That simple Kansas quarter might not just be change, it might be a treasure worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. The mistakes made back in 2005 could be your lucky break today. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing coin stories. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a Kansas quarter with an error. We'd love to hear your story. And remember, sometimes the most valuable things are hiding right in plain sight. The 2005 D. Jefferson nickel is a 5-cent coin made by the United States Mint. The D stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the places where coins are made in the U.S. Most people think nickels are not worth much, but this one can be different. Some of these nickels have mistakes called errors, and those mistakes can make the coin rare and worth a lot more than 5 cents. If you know what to look for, you might find one in your pocket change or in a roll of coins from the bank. In 2005, the U.S. Mint changed the design of the nickel to honor a famous trip made by two explorers, Lewis and Clark. This trip happened a long time ago, in the early 1800s, and helped explore the western parts of the country. The front of the coin, called the obverse, shows a new picture of Thomas Jefferson, who was the president at that time. The back of the coin, called the reverse, shows a picture of a buffalo, also called a bison. There is also another version from the same year that shows water and words from a journal, but the buffalo version is the one people talk about the most, especially when it comes to errors. One of the most famous errors on the 2005 D nickel is called the speared bison. This error happened when something scratched the tool, called a die, that stamps the picture onto the coin. That scratch shows up on the bison's body and looks like a spear going through it. This mistake was not supposed to happen, but it did. Only a small number of these error coins were made before the mint noticed and fixed the problem. Because there are not many of these coins, collectors want them, and they are willing to pay a lot of money for them. The speared bison coin can be worth between $50 and $300, or even more if the coin is in perfect condition. If you find one that has never been used, meaning it is still shiny and clean, it could be worth even more to collectors. Some of the best-looking ones have sold for over $500 when graded by coin experts. That's a big jump from just 5 cents, but the speared bison is not the only mistake to look for. Some 2005 D nickels have other types of errors too. One type is called a clipped planchet. This means a piece of the coin is missing from the edge because the round metal blank that becomes the coin was not cut right. Another mistake is called an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not lined up properly in the machine, and part of the picture is missing or moved to the side. These errors are easy to see and can also be worth money. Clipped coins might be worth $15 to $50, and off-center coins can be worth $25 to over $100, depending on how big the error is. Another kind of error is called a double die. This happens when the design on the coin is printed twice by mistake. You might see double letters or double outlines in the picture. These can be harder to see and are not as common, but if you find one, it could be worth anywhere from $10 to $100 or more. There are also smaller errors like die cracks or extra metal blobs called cuts. These are caused by damage to the die over time. These coins are not as valuable, but they can still be fun to collect. Some people will pay $5 to $25 for them, especially if they look unusual or are in good condition. To find rare coins like the 2005 D-era nickels, you don't have to spend a lot of money. One of the best ways is to go coin roll hunting. This means getting rolls of nickels from the bank, usually $2 or $10 at a time, and looking through them at home. You can take your time and look at each coin carefully. If you don't find anything, you can take the coins back to the bank and try again with a new roll. Many collectors have found valuable coins this way, and it can be a fun and cheap hobby. When you are looking for era nickels, it helps to have a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. This lets you see small details that your eyes might miss. A 10x magnifier is a good place to start. You can look closely at the bison's body for the spear line or check the edges and letters for other signs of errors. Make sure you also check both sides of the coin. If you find a coin that looks like it has an error, you can look it up online. There are many websites that show pictures of known error coins, such as PCGS CoinFacts or NGC Coin Explorer. You can compare your coin to the pictures and see if it matches. If you're still not sure, you can ask people in online coin collecting groups. Many collectors are happy to help you figure out if your coin is special. If you think your coin is valuable, you can send it to a grading company like PCGS, NGC, or Anax. They will look at your coin, check if the error is real, and give it a grade based on its condition. A higher grade means a cleaner, better-looking coin, and that usually means it's worth more money. Once it's graded, the coin is sealed in a plastic holder and can be sold to collectors with more confidence. Sometimes you might find these nickels at coin shops, flea markets, or online auctions. But be careful, not every error someone shows is real, and not every price is fair. It's a good idea to learn as much as you can before buying or selling coins. The more you know, the better choices you can make. In the end, the 2005 D. Jefferson nickel is more than just a 5-cent coin. It has an interesting history and offers a fun chance to find something rare in everyday change. The speared bison error is one of the most popular and valuable, but there are many other types of mistakes that can also make your coin worth money. Anyone can start looking, and it doesn't cost much to try. All you need is some time, a good eye, and a little patience. Who knows? You might be lucky and find a nickel that's worth hundreds of dollars hiding in plain sight. Imagine finding a simple 5-cent coin in your pocket that could be worth hundreds, or even over $1,000. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Some rare coins hide in plain sight, and one of them might be sitting in your change jar right now. Today, we're talking about one of those coins, the 1990 D. Jefferson nickel. It might look ordinary, but under the right conditions, it could be worth a small fortune. So keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. This coin was made in 1990 at the Denver Mint, which is where the little D under the year comes from. Now, let's be clear, millions of these were made. In fact, over 660 million of them were struck that year. So most of them, they're still just worth 5 cents. But here's the twist, some of them were made just a little bit better than the rest. And some of them were kept in perfect condition. And that tiny difference, it can make a huge jump in value. We're talking hundreds, even thousands of dollars. What makes a 1990 D nickel special is a few things. The biggest is something called full steps. That's a coin collector term, but don't worry, I'll make it easy. On the back of the nickel is a building called Monticello, which was President Thomas Jefferson's house. At the bottom of that building, you'll see steps. On most nickels, those steps are kind of blurry. The coin press didn't strike the design strong enough, so the steps blend together. But on a rare few coins, you can see all 5 or 6 steps clearly, with sharp lines. That's called full steps, and collectors love that. A 1990 D nickel with full steps is way more rare and worth a lot more money than a regular one. Now, here's where it gets exciting. If your 1990 D nickel has full steps and is also in top condition, with no scratches, no wear, and super shiny surfaces, it can be worth serious money. One of these sold for over $1,000 at an auction. Yes, $1,000 for a nickel. That's 20,000 times its face value. Other good condition coins without the full steps might still go for 10, 20, or 50 bucks if they're really clean. But with full steps, that's when the value really jumps. But how do you know if your coin has value? First, take a good look at it under light. If it's really worn out, has scratches, or looks dull, it probably isn't worth much. But if it looks sharp and almost brand new, that's a good sign. Flip the coin over and check those steps under Monticello. If you can see 5 or 6 full lines, with no breaks, that could mean you've got a valuable coin. To be sure, you'll want to use a magnifying glass or even take a close-up photo and zoom in. There are other things that can make a 1990 D nickel rare too. Some coins have errors, like double letters, weird cracks, or messed up mint marks. These are called mint errors and they can also raise the coin's value. Most 1990 D nickels don't have these errors, but if you find one that does, it's like hitting the jackpot. If you think your nickel might be worth something, you can get it graded. That means sending it to a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll check the condition, confirm if it has full steps, and give it an official grade. Coins graded as MS-65 or MS-66 with full steps are the ones worth the big bucks. MS just means mint state, in other words, uncirculated and in great shape. The higher the number, the better the condition. MS-66 full steps is one of the top grades found for this nickel. Now, don't get discouraged if most of your nickels are only worth face value. That's totally normal. But part of the fun of coin collecting is the hunt. Just like people search for treasure at garage sales or dig for gold in the mountains, looking through your coins can be a fun way to chase that one lucky find. And unlike a lottery ticket, coins don't expire. That nickel will always be worth at least 5 cents, even if it's not a rare one. Here's another tip: if you want a better chance of finding a valuable one, try looking at bank rolls. Go to your local bank and ask for rolls of nickels. Then go through them one by one. Some people have found full steps nickels this way, even ones worth hundreds. Just be patient, and have fun with it. A lot of people ignore coins these days. Everything is digital, credit cards, apps, and online shopping. But that just means more of these rare coins are hiding where no one's looking, right in plain sight. So take a few minutes, check your change, and who knows? Maybe that 1990 D nickel in your drawer is worth more than you think. Let me remind you again, most 1990 D nickels are not rare. But the few that are in top condition and show full steps are the ones that collectors are willing to pay big money for. They're not common. They're not easy to find. But they are out there. And the best part? You don't need to be a coin expert to find one. Just a sharp eye, a little bit of knowledge, and some luck. So next time you're about to toss your change in a jar or pay with coins, take a quick look. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Flip it over and look at those steps on Monticello. That small moment could be the start of something big. And if you do find one, make sure to protect it, put it in a small plastic holder, don't clean it, and maybe even talk to a coin dealer or submit it for grading. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos about rare coins, money finds, and hidden treasures in everyday life. You never know, your next big win might already be in your pocket.